What's happening, family? Dr. Joe here. Happy Sunday evening to each of you, wherever you are in the world. I'm so glad that you're taking time to join us tonight on this amazing discussion. As I always say, I hope each of you and your families are well and blessed. And I'm just so excited to have each of you here on this evening. As people are getting into the room and jumping on, I pray that you all, for those of you who graduated, that you're still carrying the boat and you're still putting in the work that you need to do to not only just maintain what you've done, but hopefully get better and to continue to evolve and to progress. And to those of you who are watching this, whether you're watching live or later, who are anticipatory of being a part of the next session or a later session, I hope you're getting your mind right, because May 1st is vastly approaching us. It'll be here very, very soon. As a matter of fact, I want to be certain I'm not speaking too soon. Yeah, May 1st is Saturday. So, hey, we all know about that, and we'll talk more about that a bit later. So let me, before I bring on my guest on today, let me let you all know something about weight loss. Although the 40-day turn up and the journey is not a weight loss program, we've talked about this. It's a transformative process. When a person changes from within and you begin to see the manifestations of things like weight loss, new way of carrying yourself, that's a spiritual byproduct. All right. But I want you to understand, a lot of times people have been, when you're listening to the medical industry and you're listening to the mainstream industry, they'll tell you that, you need to lose weight slowly. And although there are situations where you lose weight slowly, there are situations where you can lose a massive amount of weight in a short period of time and it be healthy. All right. It's not something that's going to compromise or mitigate health and wellness. And the amazing thing about this, for those of you who don't know about tonight's discussion, is this young man that I'm about to bring to on screen in a few moments. He is a gentleman who just graduated out of our most recent class back in March. All right. So it's not, this isn't something that is, a year ago or 2 years ago. This is recent. We're talking about a couple of months ago. He's a recent graduate. He is a transformer. And this brother lost 62 pounds in 38 days. And listen, all the time I tell people, you don't hear me boasting or bragging about results that people get in this process, because if people heard, or if I told people these types of stories, they wouldn't believe it. So today we're going to hear it from the, proverbially speaking, the horse's mouth. And I'm going to bring my special guest, Brother Rob Parks Jr., to the chat. What's good, Rob?
What's up, Dr. Joe? Thanks for having me.
My man.
I feel pretty good. I'm actually honored to be on here.
Hey, man, I'm honored to have you. When we were talking before we started, came on live, I told you, I said, hey, man, you look like you're getting smaller and smaller.
A little bit. Yeah. Got a long road to go, but yes.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great start, man. Well, you legendary, brother. You legendary.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So we're going. I'm first of all, I'm honored. I'm just as honored for you to be on with me as you are to be here. So we're gonna. I want the people to know you and know about your story. So let's kind of just take our time and start off. I want to welcome everybody. And gang, I'll tell you what, at the end, if Rob feels comfortable with this, if you all have questions for him, I can bring questions on the screen at the end of our conversation, and maybe he can answer them for you. Rob, if you feel good about that a little bit later.
Okay.
All right, great. So let's start off with you, my man. Tell us about yourself. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Okay. I'm Robert Parks Jr., actually Robert Lee Parks Jr., born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. Went to high school there. I went to Maryland Eastern Shore. I played high school basketball, played basketball for a couple of years in college. And I didn't start gaining weight until I was about 30, 30, 31. And then I had a constant struggle of gaining, losing, losing, gaining, um, like most folks. And I've tried every process known to man to lose weight. Every process known to man. I've been on Nutrisystem. I was paying that $300 a month for 15 months. Halfway did it, lost a bunch of weight, gained it back. So the whole bit. So when I got into this process, actually, when I saw my man Andre post pictures, I said, okay, I'm gonna give this a shot.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
that's basically it.
All right. So tell us about what type of work are you in?
I own my own business. I install auto glass. I own a small company. It's called Windshields on Site.
Okay.
So I fix auto glass. So I do windshields, just all auto glass. I do headlight restoration, everything. So
If you can, man, let's try to stay in the middle of the screen. That way, I want the people to see all the
okay,
fitness on the screen. I
all
want
right,
to.
hang on.
There you go. All right.
That's
Perfect.
better.
All right, that's great.
I
So
got this bright ring light in my face.
okay.
It's
All right.
insane.
Okay. So you own your own business, man.
I do.
You're from Baltimore, and
Mhm.
I know a lot. And Baltimore. I know that gaining weight is easy in Baltimore because y'all got some of the best seafood, man, ever.
Yeah,
Is that the
yeah. Yeah, we got good crab cakes, shrimp. But
okay?
me, I just like sugar.
Yeah, yeah.
I like cookies, junk food.
Now, before we get into the nitty gritty, talk to me about when you gained the weight, and specifically, you're an athlete, you played basketball. Did it happen after your athletics? To talk to me about when you noticed that you were in a season of gaining weight.
I think I probably was 25 when I went from being about 210 to like 240. But I'm 6'2", so 240, as you know, doesn't look heavy.
Right.
But I felt heavy. I was still able to go baseline and dunk. I still look decent in my clothes, but I was 240. And I lost all the weight quick. I was still young. And I think when I hit about 30, 31, it wasn't so easy to lose weight. I fractured my ankle playing basketball. And that's 8 weeks I was out. I gained weight, and I know it's because of the pain afterwards. I couldn't take it off so quickly. Yeah. So I was about 30, 31.
Yeah, man. That's a good point. And I know a lot of people watching can relate to this because, first of all, Rob, how old are you now?
I'm 45.
You're 45.
Yeah, man. July 2nd, 1975. Yep.
Man, you look like you in your late 20s, man. You
I
doing
appreciate it,
right, brother. That's all right. Well, what I was saying is because I'm 43, and so we're same generation, so we hit different milestones around the same time. And to your point, a lot of people who are watching can relate to this, and that is as you get older, your metabolism changes.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was in my 20s, I could just like think about cleaning up my diet, and it would happen instant. Would you agree to that?
Facts, absolutely.
But like you say, Rob, like when I started hitting my 30s, that's when I was getting to the point to where losing weight became more of a task. And the worst thing is that when you hit 40, it's even worse.
Yeah. Yes.
What do you feel about that? Do you agree?
I agree wholeheartedly. I think I've always had a poor diet. Growing up poor in the inner city of Baltimore, it was always cheap food, ramen noodles. We went to Murray Steakhouse, and so you become acclimated to eating those foods that aren't good for you. So like in Baltimore, it's kind of like a food desert. And what happened is if you carry a poor diet through your childhood into adulthood, you'll just gain weight when you naturally slow down, like you're talking about. And that's what happened to me.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I feel that. Now you lost 62 pounds in 38 days. No one has ever done that. Yeah. Just hearing that, man, how does that make Rob feel? How does that make you feel?
It actually makes me feel good and bad. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
You told a story about how you broke down one time in the mall because you started crying. I think you bought some white pants.
That's right.
And I'm in that space now. I'm terrified that I might gain this weight back.
Yeah.
Because quite honestly, I've lost 60 pounds before. Not this fast, but I've lost 60 pounds before and gained it all back. You talk a lot about your why. Why are you doing this? Well, in 2019, October 11th, I literally died. I had an ulcer and it ruptured. And I actually bled out at my old shop floor. And I spent about 9 days in shock trauma in Baltimore downtown. And afterwards, I was like, okay, I got to get my life right. I got to get healthy. I had the ulcer because I was overweight and I was doing what I do. I started jumping rope, hitting the bag. And as a result of being, I think I was like 360, my knees were hurting. So I'm taking ibuprofen every day and trying to work it out. I'm intermittent fasting. And, so I'm taking ibuprofen on the empty stomach, which we all know is not smart. And it caused an ulcer, eruption, and I almost died. So I almost died as a result of having a poor diet. And even after that, I went right back to eating garbage. So like my relationship with food, like most people is or was very toxic. So and I had a lot of shame. I'm ashamed because I shouldn't be like this. Like I have a lot of the knowledge. Some of the things that you taught, I already know. And that's what I talked about in my group. Shout out to Paul Scott, Man Up, and everybody in the group. I'm very communicative. So I talk to the guys a lot about, as men, we don't want to admit that we having health issues or that we insecure about our weight or we ashamed that we got fat. I get tired of people running to me like, God, boy, you house big. What happened? Like, or now if I haven't seen somebody in 2 months, they're like, man, you skinny, because they used to me being heavy. Like, so it's just a crazy, crazy thing. So I have a lot of those fears inside me and a lot of those insecurities still about gaining this weight back. So I'm still robbing the bank. I'm down since the process. Well, I haven't really stopped the process, but I'm down 12 more pounds. I'm gonna admit I slacked off. I had some bad food, but I'm going through that process of fine tuning. I'm learning what I can and can't eat. How many calories I can eat a day and maintain my weight.
Right.
So like I'm down 12 more pounds, and it's pretty easy. Yeah. So I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to feel. I already feel better. I already feel better physically, but it's the mind thing. I'm still a fat boy.
Right.
So I gotta keep robbing this bank and keep putting that work in.
Let's back up because you said something powerful. Let me bring a lot of our listeners into the story that I told that you're referencing, and then we'll come back to it. Basically, gang, to those of you who are watching, in the last group, when we were coming through the process, one of the things that I said that Rob is talking about is I remember when I was big and I was like 330, I remember always going to big and tall man stores. And when you're big, everybody who is big, whether you're a male, whether you're a woman, I don't care what your race is, what you are, that your clothing options are limited. Not just what you can get from the store, but how good it looks on you when you wear it. So I got tired, Rob, of going to big and tall man stores, paying 2-3 times the amount on a pair of jeans. I got tired of that. Yes. And the story that I told was, I remember one day I was in Macy's and I bought some jeans, some white jeans in Macy's. They had my size, and I was completely like just bawling. Somebody thought something was wrong with me, but I had that moment. And I want to speak to you because I know what it feels like to be scared to go back. And I have insight for that. And the insight that I have for you that I want you to remember is you got to keep going until you stop identifying with the old you. Yes. And when you're afraid of going back, that old ego of Rob is still trying to say, hey, Rob, this is us. This is who you've always been. It's a mental thing. Yep. The way all right, that you're there is when those fears, Rob, leave you. All right. Because you get to the point to where you say to yourself subconsciously, it's no way in the world I'm going back to that. Because it's no way. I've been on this journey so long. So I want to leave that bit of information with you. So that's awesome. I'm proud of you. You've done a great job. You should be commended, and that's great. All right. So we talked about this. Talk about the brother who told you about the process. You kind of mentioned it, but go through that again because I want to unpack that a bit.
So everybody know who Andre Goins is if you're in the village.
That's right. Yeah.
It's my man. I,
Yes.
I know Andre from back in the day. And when he posted pictures of his body, I was blown away. I just couldn't believe that he looks better now than he did when he was 17. So I'm like, what? So I hit him up. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, inbox me. I'm like, look, no. I'm like, you gonna talk to me. So I was hitting his phone because I need to know what he was doing because I'm very skeptical. But at the point where Andre told me that it's legit, then I know it's legit. I'm like, bro, how much it costs? He's like, it's free. I'm like, nothing's free. I'm like, yo, stop playing with me. Tell me what's going on. So he was very vague. He said, all I'm gonna tell you is that this process will change your life. He said, because it's changing mine. And he said, just trust me. And I said, okay. I said, well, when do I sign up? He said, December 1st. I said, December 1st? I'm like, it's like October 20th. I'm like, man, that's too far. That's too long. So quiet as kept. I think it's December 1st. And I can't get him on the phone because you hadn't I don't think you opened the link yet. And I'm like, yo, it's December 1st. This link ain't open. What's going on? I was like a drug addict. I'm trying to get in. I couldn't get Andre on the phone. I'm like, man, this is nuts. So he said, yo, calm down. He was like, it's gonna pop open. It pop open. I signed up and the rest is history. What most folks don't know is in December, I was actually 397. I was almost 400 pounds. But Andre said to me, he said, look at the food chart and everything on the bottom half, stop eating it. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what? I love biscuits, I love bread, but I can do that. And I did it. So just that quick, I went from being 397 to 383 when I started the process. So and the rest is history.
Shout out to Andre, great guy. Have a lot of respect for him. A lot of great men. God has allowed our paths to cross, like Rob. And shout out to Andre. We're gonna talk about your leaders soon, but I got a couple questions about that. So basically, you had somebody who got results. You saw the results, and you wanted the results for you. And that's like many of you guys who are watching now. Now, to those of you who are watching us, tell us if you're a newbie or if you're someone who's looking to be a part of the village and the next round. Talk to us about who inspired you, and I'll bring a couple of those names up for those of you who desire to participate. So that's awesome. Now, Rob, when you started the process, so you got in the process, you registered December 1st, and we started. I think February, the first Monday in February, we did all the pre-work in January, right? Yep. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Oh, before we get there, all right. Nana Surwa Wiafe, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Her soror Angie inspired her. Okay, Angie's on. All right, awesome. All right, Mandy says that her stepmom inspired her, Joy Doris, and that's awesome. So everybody can relate to what Rob is saying. You know, he saw Brother Andre, he saw the results and wanted for himself, and that's great because that's like the first layer of inspiration when you can see somebody that you know, and especially if it's somebody that you respect or have some type of connection with. So let's talk about pre-work, Rob, because a lot of the folk who are going to who are blessed to be a part of the next session, because every session is a blessing. We talk about that just because how special it is. They have no clue what to expect, and I know that. But you and I both know we spent a lot of time on pre-work. How did the pre-work impact you? What happened before the start?
Well, going through the process of signing up was pretty easy because I was chomping at the bit. I was excited. But the pre-work helped me because when I'm watching videos and you're talking about the mental and the emotional, which most of us don't focus on. We focus on losing the weight. But make no mistake, we're not going to lose weight if we don't get our mind right. So you're always dropping dimes. You're always dropping little nuggets, little jewels. And it just helped me along the way. It's stuff I needed to hear. So you're kind of like a friend and you keep it so real. You keep it so 100 that some people can't handle that.
Yeah. That's true.
And that's how I am. So I need that. most men, that's how we talk to each other.
That's right.
So I loved it. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, you said something one time about I think you gave the guys a tongue lashing because I guess the guys was bluffing.
Yeah.
Guys need that. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. A lot of our women, no disrespect, they want things to come a little soft sometimes.
Yeah.
But I don't need that.
Right.
I wanted to come hard. Like, I needed no filter.
Right.
Right. So, like, when you say you thicker than a sticker, but you got high cholesterol, I turned around. Like, that's most of the people I know. In our culture, we cool with the weight.
We cool.
I'm not, because I had high blood pressure.
Right.
I was almost 400 pounds. Like, so, and I've had people tell me already, man, you getting skinny, man. You losing too much weight. I'm like, okay, I appreciate it. Thanks.
Right. Right. Keep it
too much weight. I'm still over 300 pounds, but they talk about I lost too much weight.
Right.
300 pounds ain't healthy. I'm sorry, fellas, ladies. If you over 240, if you over 200 pounds, you're unhealthy.
Bottom line. No, it's bottom line. And people need to hear this.
Yeah.
People need to hear that. And I'm so glad you're bringing it up, because if you're in the African American community specifically, we do not have social issues around weight. We don't. Black women who are classified as obese in America have no problems with low self-esteem as their Caucasian counterparts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because one of the main,
I get it.
You can be big, black, beautiful, and thick and curvy and still have sexual value. Now, I'm not saying that's it, but I do think that there's a nuance that a lot of our sisters need to understand. Just because he likes it, right? Or just because you like it doesn't mean it's healthy.
Yes, exactly.
Because at the end of the day, the goal is not to be, my goal in life is not to be something that pleases other people. I want to be as healthy as I can so I can fulfill my purpose, and so I can take care of my family and do what God has sent me down here to do. And I can't do that if I'm not healthy, So you bring up a great point. What do you feel about that?
I agree. I mean, you know how our sisters are. We can't say but so much. You might get stabbed.
Right. Right.
But me, I'm that guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it. Yeah. And sometimes I catch heat.
Yeah.
I'm overweight.
Right.
Like, I had a friend tell me, "Well, I'm healthy." You're not healthy.
Yeah.
You're like, you're 230. Like, 5'7".
Right.
You're overweight.
Right. It is.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
And that's not me throwing shade. That comes from a place of me caring and keeping it real, being 100% honest. Yeah. We don't do that enough. We don't talk to each other enough. Shout out to Man Up, Paul Scott. That's my man.
Yeah, that's my man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get into your leader, your group, because I can't wait to talk about him and other brothers in your group, I want to ask you a question about challenges, because a lot of people can relate to this, and a lot of people who are going through it, it gives them kind of context, and everybody's struggle is different. And that's what I love, Rob, is the fact that the weight loss journey is really a spiritual journey of self.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because you see different in the process, different flaws come up, different issues, different things that you've been dealing with come up. And it's a beautiful way of becoming a better person in this physical reality. So my question to you is, can you talk about some of the challenges that you had when you were coming through?
Okay. Well, I missed the first Monday meeting. And I was panicked because he was kicking folks out the group. So I said, it was like, I said, oh man, it's almost 8 o'clock. I supposed to have been in at 7. So I text Paul. I said, Paul, bro, I got busy. I forgot. He said, well, at least you're communicating. I said, so what happened in the meeting? He was like, it was pretty cool. I said, I swear for God, I'm gonna be there next week. So I set myself an alarm, an alert. And the meeting came, and I got in. I started chatting with everybody. But one of the biggest challenges is I got sick 2 weeks in, and and I was real sick. I was still having issues with my stomach. So they put me on an antibiotic, and I had side effects from it. I was dehydrated, so I couldn't even work out. Then a couple of weeks later, I hurt my back. So I lost 62 pounds and not even really pushing it like I know I can. It was just difficult changing my diet, bringing different food in the house. That's a big thing. Eating is a big social issue, a big social construct. I know folks that won't even come to your party if you don't got buffalo wings, if you don't have drink. I don't drink alcohol, I don't smoke, but I know folks that won't even come around if you ain't doing what they're doing. So it's a big social issue. So me bringing yoga in the house, and I'm gonna keep it real. My lady, she was following the process better than I was, and she wasn't even in it. She lost 25 pounds.
Shout out to your lady.
Right. Shout out to Nicole Faulkner.
And you know
She's
what?
signing up.
Listen, it's great. It's great when you have that built-in accountability partner. My wife is my accountability partner, and I'm hers. When I'm strong, she can lean on me, and I have my weak moments. Right. I'm still working on me, Rob. There's still things that I know I need to do, and I think that's one of the reasons why God has allowed me to be effective, because I've been that guy. I've been that girl, because at the end of the day, obesity and being overweight and how it makes you feel, it don't matter if you're a man or a woman. You may have different emotional expressions of that, but at the end of the day, I've been that guy, and I think that's why the Lord has allowed me and placed me in this lane, because I really feel that there's no place that people can be in the process that I can't give them a nugget, and I'm still in it. I'm still not ultimately where I want to be, but I'm closer now than I've ever been. And that's the key. That's the key. Is to keep grinding. At what point, Robin, when you were coming through the process, at what point did you say to yourself, I got this? Like I can do this. Like, was there like a turning point for you when you were like, I got it?
I'm a very confident person. So I always knew I could do it, but and I love veggies, but I like my veggies with fat bag, pork in it, and so on and so forth. So making collard greens and using vegetable broth and not chicken broth was kind of different for me. But I think about 3 weeks in, 1 week I lost 15 pounds. So I was like, I called Paul. I was like, bro, I think am I losing too much weight? Because the scale said I'm down. Man, I got on 3 different scales.
Yeah.
I lost 15 pounds, and I was like, this is that's kind of extreme. I had lost like 8 and 9, and I took off 15. I said, okay. Well, I'm doing good then. I'm losing water weight. I'm drinking my water. I didn't cut my calories. I don't feel hungry. I actually feel good. So I'm gonna keep rolling with it. So I said, okay, I can do this. Once somebody said that it was like a competition, I said, oh, okay. So and there's some guys in my group that was pushing me.
Right.
My man Ricardo, Sean. Shout out to everybody in the group. Rev Butler. We was a close knit group, man. Ricky, everybody. We was a close group.
So let's segue right into that. Talk about your leader. Let's talk about your leader. Tell us who your leader is.
Paul Scott Jr.
My man.
Man up. Yep.
Shout out to Paul. Great guy. Marine. Devil dog.
That's serious.
Love Paul. That's my brother. Andre, that's my brother. You my brother.
Appreciate it.
Let me kind of get off subject a bit and say, we live in a time where people are always expecting people to be politically correct, but I'm not that all the time. And I think that it's okay to not be like that, because I'm not a politician. I'm a man of God here to speak the truth and to live the truth to the best of my ability. But one thing that I love is to see how men are attracted to this process. Brothers like you, You type of guy that if I like if we were in the same city, I would hang out with you. And I'm
Yeah,
you feel the
absolutely.
same thing. You know, I think you and I could talk about things and see we cut from the same cloth is what I'm saying. Same way with Andre, same way with
Yeah,
Enoch, same way with Paul, same way with brother Lafayette that you all saw who's trying to get in the group for the next. I mean, he's
right.
73 years of age, but men, you know,
Yep.
and that means a lot to me. It means a lot to me that we have something that brothers like yourself, brothers like Andre, brothers like Paul can get value from it. You don't know what that means to me. And that's not to look over the vast majority of our sisters, because I love our sisters as well. But I do think that, you know, it's important for me to say that because it's great to have brothers like you, man. You know, because you a man's man. We cut from the same cloth. I don't even have to know about where you all the story, but I have an idea of how you were raised, and because we view things the same, and that's refreshing.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah,
You can tell.
yeah. It
Like,
don't take
you know,
long, does it?
not at all, man. Look, every time you came on the village chat, I was dying laughing because you keeping it real. And I, you know, Dr. Joe, can I eat some Skittles, Dr. Joe? Can I get some Ezekiel bread?
Right.
That's how people be asking
Right.
these crazy questions.
And
You
then
know, you can't eat. Is it on the list? You know,
right.
you know, if it ain't on this,
Right.
oh yeah, I got
Look
my
at
joint made. I got my joint made into a binder
Right. Look at
of
him.
rip. Yeah, you know, so
That's what I'm talking about.
like, you know what I mean. So
Man.
I'm
That's what's up.
I'm pretty serious about everything I do. So,
Let's talk
but
about
yeah,
Paul. I've known Paul for over a year now. Paul came through Antioch Group. That's when I met him. Top of 2020, but pre-COVID. That's how long I've known Paul. And
oh wow.
yeah. So, how did Paul help? Tell how did his leadership style help you? Talk about that.
Well, Paul is actually super laid back,
He is.
and I actually like that. He's very direct. He's very honest. Um, and I can just tell he a Southern dude, like you know what I mean. And he just kept it real with me. So like me, where I come from was I can spot somebody phony. That ain't Paul. You know, he was like, look, Rob, calm down. He was like, you're doing everything you're supposed to do. Just keep grinding. And when I got into the group, you know, I missed the first meeting. I got into the group, and I'm not gonna say I kind of took over, but I'm a chatty cat, like you know, and I'm willing to talk about things that most people ain't. I'm gonna talk about my insecurities
Yeah.
because as men, we need to talk about that. So Paul was telling me how, you know, how he lost weight, you know, how his wife looking at him like a snack now. And we all can relate to gaining weight and not being our best selves.
Right.
You know, I don't look like I used to look. You know, I used to be a 6'2" athlete, you know, with an athlete's body. At 400 pounds, that's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm gonna keep it real. So Paul just gave us the space and the strength to just be ourselves in the group and just let us talk to each other. That's my dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like I leaned on him real heavy, you know, in the group, but also I would text him and just flat ask him questions. And he would always respond and help me along the way. So that's my guy.
Yeah.
Big ups to Paul Scott. Like, you know, I couldn't have made it through without Paul. Real talk.
Let me tell you something on that point that you just made. You know, people don't understand the value that the village gives them. Like the relationship that you have with Paul, that's something y'all will never, that bond will never be broken. It's something about bonds. And I want y'all to listen to me who aren't, you haven't come through the process and you're looking to come through the process, because you're really in for a great treat. It's something about bonds that you create with people when you are going through obstacles together. It's just something about that. It's almost like sororities and fraternities and people who are on a team together, and the odds were against you and you were victorious. I'm telling you, I know people today who are like this, and they went through the process 8 years ago. You know, so you bring up a great point. Talk about your group. How did your group help you through the process? or you them. Let's look, because I'm sure you help them. Let's talk about it both ways.
We posted a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
We chatted every day. They still chat in the group. We still chat in the group, posting
Right.
pictures, commenting.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of camaraderie.
Right.
And me coming from a sports background, I love that.
Yeah.
Men, as men, we need to speak to each other and communicate. And a lot of times we don't. When we having issues, we keep it to ourselves. So that private group gave us the space to talk about things that we wouldn't talk about otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what was awesome about it. And I'm telling you, it's some funny down to earth cats in them. So like we talk about stuff that, make no mistake, I'm not gonna bring up now. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? So and it's like it's a brotherhood. That's what it is.
Yeah, at the bottom line. And then for
Put
the
it in a nutshell, it's a brotherhood. Yep.
for the ladies, it's a sisterhood, and
Yeah.
that's great. And that's why we separate the genders, because it's more, I've studied it. We've had groups where, and shout out to Enoch Berluch, who's been a great leader for a long time. But we've had groups where it was men only, women only, and co-ed. And when you separate the men from the women, it's better, because a lot of times there are things that only a man can say, that only a man can understand.
Facts.
There are sometimes only things a woman can say that a woman can understand. So we wanted to take Paul, we wanted to take, Rob, all of those nuances that took away from people's progress and added and take them away to where we support people as much as we can. So to see the men groups have been awesome. They're all, men always do better from the vantage point of attrition.
Right.
It's just how men are,
Yeah,
men.
we're gonna push each other, man. That's how it is. Like, if you tell me I can't do something, I'm like, okay, let's rock. You know what I mean?
Now, sisters, y'all know I love y'all, but let me tell y'all something. 99% of the problems that I get in the process are coming from women. I love y'all. I come from a woman. I'm married to a woman, and I'm raising two young girls.
Daughters, exactly.
But at the end of the day,
Beautiful.
it's just with men, you tell them what to do, and they do it.
Yeah. Right. Men are dogs.
Yeah.
Women are cats.
Right.
You can put a leash on a dog and just pull them along.
Right.
You can't do that with a cat.
You can't do it with a cat. The cat is going to be different. It's going to appear.
They're going to come when they want to come.
They're going to come when they want to come.
They're going to do what they want to do.
Bottom line. Facts. Yeah. Yes, sir. That's awesome, man. Well, let me, man, you've been such a, it's like we sit up here talking on the phone. I can't, it's like I'm FaceTiming you. A great conversation.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I want to transition to the last portion of this, and that's the next person. So, Rob, a lot of people, more people who aren't watching this will watch this now. Right. All right. And it's going to be, this video is going to be up for Lord knows years, probably. And hopefully if God says the same, we'll still be in this process of taking people through this transformative process. There may be somebody who's on live or who watches this at a later time, and they're thinking about getting on or being a part of the next session. They're anticipatory of being a part of the next session or whatnot. If you had to talk about your mindset a month before you started, like, where were you? Like, when you signed up December 1, and I think you reached out to Andre like in late October. Mm-hmm. Talk to us about what type of mind space does a person need to have who is serious about coming through this, if they're looking to come through?
You have to dislike the person that you are. And I was starting to hate myself, but that's a good thing. You have to hate being overweight in order to change it. And that's where I was. I was at the point where, okay, I almost died a couple of years ago. I felt so much shame. I went back to eating this garbage, gained weight back, and I almost died. I was like, this ain't me, but it is me. Mm-hmm. So I just felt disgusted with myself. And I was like, I got to do something different. I needed this process. Mm-hmm. It kind of helped me over the edge, so to speak. Like, you know what I mean? I was on the raggedy edge of probably going from being 397 to 430.
Mm-hmm.
I said, so, you know, this ain't me. I feel disgusted every time I look in the mirror, every time I get out the shower.
Yeah.
You know, I walk past him, I'm like, oh my God, I'm at the beach. I went to Outer Banks in 2019. I wasn't out there with my shirt off. I had a full sweatsuit on. You know what I mean? I'm joking, but you know what I mean.
Yes, sir.
When you're overweight, you just feel fat, you feel uncomfortable. You know, I felt like I feel like 300 pounds of potatoes in a 100-pound sack. Like, you know what I mean? None of my clothes fit good. I'm shopping at Big and Tall. I don't really want to go out and have fun because I look crazy in my clothes. Like, you know what I mean? So it's almost like you become a recluse. And
Yeah.
that's not me. So what my mind was, I was like, if I don't make this work, I might die.
Mm.
That's literally how I was. So, and that's still my mindset. And yes, I still got that fat boy in me, but I'm going the right direction. And now my ego's starting to come back. Like, you know what I mean? My arrogance. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I played basketball a couple of weeks ago. I said, I'm gonna go out here, shoot around, do start talking trash. I gave him the business. I still can go, you know. I still got all the skills. You know, I used to kickbox, you know, I played basketball, I still could do everything. And that's a part of my problem. I tend to push it too much. You
Yeah.
know, I might tweak an ankle and then I can't work out. So I got all these fits. I'm like, okay, I don't want to do too much because if I roll an ankle, then I ain't gonna be able to work out at all. So I'm kind of going along at a smooth pace. But I just want to say to the folks out there that may be watching, this process works. This process is fantastic. It ain't no magic pill, but you're gonna feel like it when you drop 10, 15, 20, 30 pounds.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like smoking crack. that's how fast I lost weight. Like, it's almost like people think I'm on Ready Rock. Like, yo, what's going on, boy? You all right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm
Sure.
good. You sure, man? I'm good, bro.
We suck them up around here, man.
Yeah.
But you know what? And I'm glad you bringing that up because when you come in, to those of you who are coming through the next session, when your mind is right,
Yes.
when you're teachable, when you are correctable, when you are, I don't care how much education. A lot of times, Rob, I struggle. I'm not talking about all educators or doctors and lawyers. Not all people who are smart or have a lot of education. But sometimes the folk who think they know everything are the ones hardest to teach. And I tell people all the time, in life, it's, the ones that think they know nothing. And if you just move and say, let me learn, let me open my mind, let me try to be open to something that makes no sense or something that I've never heard. People have to be open there. Would you agree?
I agree wholeheartedly. Like I tell people right now, I told my mom, she's gonna kill me. I said, oatmeal ain't good for you.
Yeah.
She was like, oatmeal, her whole face. I said, Mom, oatmeal is high on the glycemic chart. I pulled the glycemic chart out and I showed it to her.
Yeah.
I said, you already got diabetes. You're trying to lose weight. You shouldn't be putting no grain, no kind of oatmeal, no millet, no muesli, no none of that stuff in your mouth.
Yep. Facts. Look at
if you're trying to lose weight. So, and I can be intense. So folks are like, most people don't want to change themselves. Most people do not want to take that hard look at themselves and say, you know what, I'm not doing this right, especially our people. We don't want to be told we're doing the wrong thing. And I had to explain it to my mom. I'm sure she's watching that. It's not judgment. That's the way you was taught. It's the way you taught me. We grew up eating this way. It's time to change. When you gave the master class and you taught us about the pancreas and the pancreas function, I'm a pretty bright guy. I had no idea what the pancreas did in the body.
Yeah.
My mom's been diabetic for a while.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't know. But here's the rub. She was recently going to the doctors and they was telling her that she was having an issue with her pancreas. So it just all came full circle. I was standing in Wegmans with my lady. We was buying fruits and veggies while I was watching that master class. And I put all the fruit that I had back and bought all veggies.
Mm-hmm.
So like I tightened it up.
Right.
I started buying plain yogurt and putting fresh fruit in it. I got, and that's why I lost so much weight. I became a different person. You can't become a different person unless you really become a different person. You got to change yourself. And most of us don't want to. And at times in my life before, I haven't wanted to. So that's the thing. Like, so like I have a lot of people looking at me in my family, you know. So it's a big responsibility when you lose weight and then you come on a live stream like this and you tell your story. And I haven't even really gotten deep into it. It's a lot been going on in my life, like everybody, especially in these times of COVID.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful for this process. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the village. Shout out to Paul Scott Jr. and Team Man Up. I actually wanted to call us All Spark because I grew up in the 80s watching cartoons and I was a Transformers fan. So when I hear Transformers, okay, I'll think Optimus Prime. Like, you know what I mean? I'm an 80s kid. So, but all the guys chose Man Up and it was best because we had to man up, and you have to man up in this process.
That's what's up, man.
You have to man up in this process. You got to step up and look in that mirror and say, you know what? It's time to change myself. This process will weed out the folks that aren't ready. And to me, that's the best kind of process. This village, if you ain't ready and you come in bluffing, you ain't gonna make it.
The
I'm gonna keep it real.
Get them, ain't that right?
Right. You're not gonna make it. So
yeah,
you got to come correct.
Well, man, listen, Rob, you've been a breath of fresh air, man. All these, just hearing the stories of amazing people, but a brother like yourself, man, I'm so glad that we've connected. I'm glad that you agreed to be on. I really appreciate you and thank you. You dropped some jewels, man. This 45 minutes went by so quick. I want you all, before I got and I'll be reading through the comments, but if any of you guys have any questions for Rob, let me know, post them. I'll bring up and maybe we can shoot him one or two. I don't want to take up too much of his time, but I'll kind of go through because you said so much that's powerful. But
I got all these notes over here. I ain't talking about half the stuff I want to talk about, but it's all good.
You want to pick something?
No, I just, I'm cool. I'm cool.
All right, we got one question.
There'll be time to talk in the future. Go ahead.
Got a question. Susan asked, Rob, did you have any problems with excess loose skin hanging with losing so much weight?
Actually, no. Because I'm gonna be honest, Susan. When you eat a healthy diet, when you eat a lot of vegetables, you shrink inside out.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, and I haven't lost enough weight to have to deal with loose skin yet. Mm-hmm. And I don't know that I ever will. But no, not yet. Because I'm down a total about 90 pounds since December, 62 pounds in the process. But and actually I've lost like 12 more pounds since the process ended. So I'm down about 90 some pounds. But no, not yet, not at all.
Mandy asked Rob, what was the hardest thing to change?
Changing the way I eat. Mm-hmm. I work all day. I get off. I want sugar. I want to go to McDonald's, which I stopped eating fast food. I want to go get a good cheesesteak, fries. Mm-hmm. Get a milkshake, get a sweet tea, and sit back and relax. So, just changing my eating habits, and also that daily exercise, which I'm starting to do now all the time. So sometimes twice a day. So, I'm riding bikes, I'm swimming.
Yeah.
So I'm doing different things.
Audrey Spells Cooper says, Rob,
what was your weekly diet?
Yes.
I mix it up. Most mornings I would get up and I would have eggs. With my eggs, I would eat cabbage. I would eat collard greens. Just a lot of veggies. Sometimes I would eat yogurt for breakfast or an apple or two. Yeah. But always a balanced diet. Always a protein, a carb, and a fat.
There you go.
So I just mix it up. It's my girl.
Shout out Sabrina.
Right.
Sabrina says, I don't have a question. I just want to make a statement. You did a great job. And I love when our Black men man up and take control of their health. Awesome.
Thanks, sis.
Awesome.
She's killing it herself.
She's killing it.
Look. A quick side note. I couldn't reach Andre back in, I think, December.
Yeah.
I hit her up. because she had posted pictures of Andre. So I
Yeah.
saw, I hit up. I was like, "Hey, when did the process start?" I'm telling you, man, I was like a junkie trying to get in.
Shout out to
I
Sabrina.
swear to God, yeah,
She's great. She's
she's
great.
killing it.
That's awesome, man. Well, Millie says, I'm grateful too. I lost hundreds of pounds on so many diets over my
Yes.
lifetime. 40 turn up has been the answer. 55 pounds down, never turning back. Shout out to Millie. I think she was Antioch Strong, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. Yes.
Congratulations, Melody.
Yes. Okay. Nicole Harrison, last question. Rob, did your girl spouse support you in this journey?
Wholeheartedly. She was lockstep with me. At times, she ate better than I did. She ate cleaner than I did. And she dropped 25 pounds. So yes.
So both of y'all looking at each other like you some snacks.
Facts. Plus, look, I got more. I'm
stamina.
I'm smiling Bob now. That's real talk. Like, yeah.
That's great.
When you 400 pounds, ain't too much smiling.
Hey, man. Hey. Hey.
I rolled over. She was like, "You're killing me. You're too heavy." That's facts. That's a true story. Like, you know what I mean? So I keep it 100, man.
Man. Well, Rob, thank you, man. You've been a great interviewee. The people have really enjoyed you. You've been awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
I know you got my information. I'm gonna text you once this is over. But thank you, my friend, for being a part. Gang, I'm gonna wrap up after Rob is off, so you all hang on. But Rob, thank you, man, so much for being my guest. You've been amazing, brother. And I'll text you after this is over.
Thank you, sir.
Bless you. Okay. All right.
See y'all.
Awesome. What a great interview. Shout out to Rob Parks Jr., man. We got 73 people watching. What a great show. I hope you all have enjoyed that. Rob really unearthed and really dropped many jewels and wisdom. It's nothing like when someone is sharing with you their experience. But I want to say something, and then I'll wrap this up shortly. And what I want to say is, Rob was saying how in the process of losing weight, how I'm trying to get my words together, how his confidence changed. And see, this is what you have to understand. There's a part of your existence where your soul meets, where the spiritual and the soul part of you meets the physical part of you. And it's called the seat of the soul. It's where the two intertwine, meaning where the spiritual and the physical converge. And what I'm saying is, it's something about the spiritual process of losing weight. It's not about the pounds, but it's about the process of me becoming a better version of myself. That process of improving, whenever I'm improving upon myself, right? In any way, that is a process of rebirthing, of being born again. You see, whenever you're becoming a better version, whenever you're in a process of becoming a better version of myself, right? I'm on drugs, I'm getting off drugs. I'm an alcoholic, I'm getting off of alcohol. I'm a porn addict, I'm getting off of that. I'm a food addict, I'm getting off of that. I'm losing weight. I'm educating myself. I'm working on my marriage. I'm becoming a better parent. I am wanting to be closer to God. Any journey in your life, when you are improving yourself, you are on a journey of transformative rebirthing. You understand that? That's what it's all about. When Nicodemus was completely mesmerized by the actions of Christ, he came to him at night. He couldn't be seen with him at the day, because for all of Nicodemus' peers to have seen him with this renegade of Jesus would have been like preachers meeting with a Black Panther or or a militant Muslim or something. I'm just trying to give an example. And Christ broke down to him. He says, how do I enter the kingdom of God? How do I do this? How do we do these things that you're doing? He says, unless ye be born again. The process of being reborn again is a spiritual one. It's a process of enlightening yourself. And see, it's something about when I'm losing weight, it's not necessarily the pounds, but I'm becoming a better version of myself because I'm becoming healthier. I'm moving better. And you untap spiritual elements in a physical process. Like what? Confidence. You see? Confidence, esteem, being certain about things. You see, so what I'm saying is the process of you losing weight is going to help you in every area of your life because it's a spiritual process. Yo, like you can't tell me nothing now. I wasn't always this guy. I was not always this guy. I was very, very soft-spoken, didn't say much. And I can be like that because I'm kind of an introvert a bit. When I'm around people that I know, then I come out, But I wasn't always this guy. There was times where I would never have the courage to just completely call somebody a gut and butt. Never. There was never a time that I would have that much confidence to look at somebody and say, you are a gut and butt and you need to stop living like a fat pig. I would have never said that. But now it comes easily and I don't care because that's a confidence that I have been able to bring to speak truth. You see? You see what I'm saying? To speak truth. And let me tell you what people need. People need you. When I go off and rant, a lot of folk get turned off, but to Rob's point, let me tell you something. When we first start off, literally, I'm trying to make you quit. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying my best to make you quit. Matter of fact, I want you to quit because I'm getting all the lambs out. You understand? People wonder, well, why do they call themselves lions? You see my man in the back. You see my man in the back. You see him. You see him. They ain't by design. That's not by accident. That's by design. Why they call them lions? Why they call themselves lions? Because at night in the village, the wolves come. They eat up the chickens and they eat up the lambs. But the wolves never fool with the lions. You understand that? So folk who quit and they drop out and they make up all these excuses to make themselves feel better about their failures that they refuse to address, fine. I never care about that. Matter of fact, I know that folk are going to be all amped and you're going to get in there and you're just not going to be able to do it. And that's fine because I don't know who that is. We don't take mental assessments. I'm not assessing your ability to comprehend. Do you have a pulse? Do you have a heart? And are you willing to put in the work? That's all I care about. I don't care about, your education. People always end by, I've got 4 degrees. I don't care about your degrees. If you drive trucks, if you're a politician, you're a doctor. I've had folks who are doctors, come to me like I'm supposed to be intimidated by your physicianry. I don't care. You understand what I'm saying? Because many of the doctors don't know. They haven't been trained. They don't know anything about nutrition. And plus, sick folk help the business model of the medical industry. And that's nothing against medical doctors, nurses, hospitals, pharmacists. It's just the fact. We all know that the money is propped up with the meds. So the more meds you can be given, the more money people are going to make. It's just the bottom line. So my process of losing weight, man, my confidence was just ridiculous. Y'all feel what I'm saying? I remember a time when, watch this. I remember a time when I would go out of the house, I would have to be dressed. Like, I'm not necessarily talking about a suit, but I'm saying like my shoes had to be fresh and my outfit had to look a certain way. I remember that. That was insecurity. That doesn't mean if you want to look good when you go out that you're insecure. Please don't read into what I'm saying. I'm talking about me. I'm saying when I would go, I remember times when I would have to be dressed. I would have to have on a certain outfit. That was an insecurity. Yo, now I don't care what I have on. I've been making videos and thousands of people be seeing it. I got on different color socks. I don't care. I don't care because like I know who I am. You feel what I'm saying? You know, I don't have to, clothes don't make me. I make my clothes. You feel what I'm saying? All of that came in my process. I'm a better preacher now, because when your confidence increases, your swag increases. And see, when you do something and you doing it from a confident place, like almost kind of like cocky a little bit, and see, that's attractive. See, women love that. You ain't got to say nothing. See, my man Rob hinted at it because he said, I can be women love a respectable, arrogant man. If I can, if that makes sense, the brothers know what I'm talking. They love it because that arrogance is like, I'm the top dog. Who coming in second? When I come in the room, who is coming in second? You feel what I'm saying? It's just in my blood. It's just in the blood. Y'all feel what I'm saying? And see, this is what you can look forward to. And a lot of y'all who've lost the weight, and a lot of y'all who've come through the process, you are experiencing this now. You are experiencing it now. You put on your little outfits and the stuff is laying right and you seeing, little divots in you may not have a perfect body, but in your mind it's perfect from where you started. Man, that's going to lift your spirits. And let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something. Take heed to this. It's something special about when your weight is in place. When you get up in the morning and you get on that scale and the numbers say what they supposed to say, and you know what I'm talking about when I say what I'm supposed to say. When it says what it's supposed to say, it's no such thing as having a bad day because you can always reflect. The world can be ended, but you be like, but I'm getting lean. I'm lean. The world is ended, but your boy is lean. You know what I'm saying? It's like the woman in your life could trip, the guy in your life could trip, and you like, your boy is lean. It don't matter. Lean. Getting you. When them pants fit right, that dress lay right, it ain't no such thing as having a bad day. Because all you got to do is like, well, I'm lean. It's the truth. It's the truth. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Yo, when you get on that scale, them numbers say the right thing. It ain't. What Ice Cube say? Today is a good day. Isn't that what he said? Yes, sir. And lean is always relative, y'all. You feel what I'm saying? It's always relative. It's relative. I'm telling you, man, there's nothing like it. You want to change your life? Work on you. Work on you. Work on you. I'm telling you, man, it's nothing like it. It's almost like a drug. Becoming the best version of yourself and overcoming obstacles and sticky points and plateaus. When you overcome, it's like a drug, man. You feel like what's that guy? You remember that Marvel series on Netflix, Bulletproof. Remember the big yoke brother? He could. It's like nothing can stop me. Nothing can stop me. Because like right now, I'm working on something, and I'm not going to reveal it until it's done. But I'm working on something that relates to this, and you can't tell me it's not going to be a smash. But you know what? I have no way of knowing if it's going to be a smash. But it don't matter. It's like I just know it's going to be, just complete fire. You feel me? Because everything I do, I'm doing it with that confidence that I've been able to gain in working on me. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of folk have relational problems because you're not the best version of yourself yet. You are attracting a certain type of guy, a certain type of woman, because you are living a life of mediocrity relative to your potential. You see what I'm saying? But when you become the best version of yourself, different folk are going to be looking at you twice. Yo, I was laughing. Lynette knows about this. I was out the car the other day, and I was just leaving the studio, and I was fully suited. Fully suited. Your boy was fully suited. 3-piece suit. You feel what I'm saying? 9-inch British splits on the back side. You know what I'm saying? Had my patented beltless pants on with no pleats. Had my red bottles, my shades. I was going in the store. I was like, yo, babe, you need me to pick you up something? She said, yeah, pick the kids up some bananas and strawberries. I said, I got it. I was walking up, and this dude was trying to holler at her. She's attractive. I have no problem saying that. Yo, I walked by, that girl saw me, completely tripped, and I was like, the kid still got it, son. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. I'm making these 20-year-olds trip. And, I ain't got no interest in that. I got what I want. But the point is, you feel what I'm saying? Does anybody in the chat group know what I'm saying? You see them next, they start to snap a little bit more, like, how you do? Hey, man, that's a feeling. And it ain't got nothing, it has nothing to do with them or chasing them, but it's just something to know, like, hey, I've worked on this, and people are seeing my work. Y'all feel what I'm saying? It's not to be abused or misused or to I'm not saying you use it for anything like that, but it's nothing like when you become the best version of yourself. It's going to permeate every area of your life. Every single area of your life. You just got to keep going. Y'all think I'm crazy. I know. You know, I had that little walk, how you doing? You all right? Yeah. You all right? All right. She on them heels was being cute. Them heels doing like this. Y'all know the heel hit the wrong. She be like, it was so funny. Oh God, it was so funny. She was so embarrassed. Yeah. So moving on, before I get put out, I shall say one more thing. For those of you who are watching and you desire to be in the next class of the journey of the 4-day turn up, you can see it scrolling there on your screen. JourneyLife.tv. You'll see it there. We got some new merch there, some Lion Life shirts. We have, I believe, in there. I think it's up there. We've got information about the next session. All you got to do is go to that page that you see below, click on 4-day turn up, next session. It's an 11-minute video. All you got to do is watch it. May 1st is Saturday, 3 p.m. You watch that video, and that video will tell you everything that you need to do on Saturday. There's no registration. There's no subscription, none of that. Watch that 11-minute video. Be where you're supposed to be on May 1st at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And all of what you need will be told you at that time. Now, just because you are there on May 1st does not mean you're guaranteed a seat. What guarantees a seat are people who follow the instructions. When you follow the instructions, it'll take you through a funnel and migrate you into the group. And when the group fills, if it fills, it's full. That's how it works. Okay, gang? Thank each of you for being a part of tonight. I hope you enjoyed the session. You're going to hear some more information about some future interviews that we're going to have. I can't wait, because this is Journey Life TV. We got some more exciting things coming. So thank you all for watching live. Big shout out to my guest, Rob Parks Jr. Shout out to each of you who are watching. Shout out to those of you who see this on demand or at a later date. Until next time, you guys be well, be blessed. Have an amazing Sunday evening. And God willing, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.